Now we're moving to the cells. We're just talking about the cells is the smallest independent unit of life. So we start from here. So inside of cells, inside of cells, or all of our life, depending many others, like chemical activities, they mainly happens inside of cells. And inside of cells, we have some basic structures, and certainly they have basic functions, like the growth, like the metabolism. And irritability means reaction to the environments and reproduction. So that's basically cells functions. Then we see, what's basically inside of cells. We're talking about the part of the cells first. We say when we're talking about human body cells, they have three basic parts. The first basic part, the cell's membranes. We also call it plasma membrane. Just the cover of the cells. Different cells, the shape will be different. And the second part, we're talking about the nucleus first. So inside the cells, they have kind of solid part. They will have DNA inside or chromosome inside. That part we call nucleus. Then between the nucleus and the plasma membranes, we have lot of liquids in there. So this kind of liquid inside the cells, we give it a special name, cytosol. This means some liquids between the cell nucleus and the membranes. And in the cytosol or liquid part, we still have some smaller organ here. Just small organ there. Each of them have special functions. We name it organelles. So that's basically, we say inside of cells, we have three bigger parts, but in the second part, we say cytoplasm. Cytoplasma still cover two parts. One part just water, another part some small organ there. So that's the basically structure of the cells. So if we go to the pictures, some pictures like this. Some picture like this. So animal cells, including the human beings cells, pretty similar. Pretty similar. Basic structure, pretty similar. Outside cover is the cell's memory or plasma memory, cover whole of them. And basically in the center part is the nucleus. Yeah, nucleus. Nucleus, they have their cover also. So that's nucleus. Inside the nucleus, we say we have chromosome and the DNA in the chromosome. Yeah. DNA in the chromosome. So for human being, we have 23 pair of the chromosome. Million of the DNA inside. So that's the inside of nucleus, the mainly things in there. And then between the nucleus and the membranes, that's we call cytoplasm. Yeah, cytoplasm. And some small organelles like this one, the difference like this one, just between the nucleus and the membranes. So that's basically structure of the cells. So here is another picture. Looks a little bit complicated, but still the same thing. Yeah, still the same thing. Basically structure in here. So that's we're talking about the basically structure of the cells. So the cells, we're talking about it one by one here. We're talking about plasma membrane first, the cover of the cell. So the cells is pretty smaller. They're pretty smaller. Usually we couldn't look in the cells with our naked eyes. We need to use microscope, even electrical microscope to looking for the cells. And certainly the plasma memory even more smaller. So we say that's 0.5 nanometer. Yeah, nanometer. So 1 millimeter equal to 1,000 nanometer. And 1 nanometer equal to another, just one in there, equal to another 1,000 nanometer. So you can think about how smaller it is. That's thinner. So that structures, that structures is double layer in there. Yeah, double layer in there. And they have a lot of chemicals in there. So that's the basically structure of the plasma membrane. We can see the next picture here. So when we're talking about the double layer there, you can see both sides, some structures like this. So one line they use the blue color here covered this side superficial, another line blue color here cover another side. So that's basically we're talking about the structure here. And also they have some protein inside of the membrane, inside of membrane. So certainly we make the plasma much bigger and bigger and bigger, then we can see. It's not we can directly can see with our naked eyes. And that was still protein. That was still protein here. So that's basically structure of our plasma membrane. Then we talking about function. We say mainly for our class, we talk about functions. So function of a plasma membrane. So certainly the first function, they separate external and internally the cells. Especially certainly they separate the liquid part. They cover the cells and separate the liquid from inside and outside. So we know cytoplasm means some water, some water. And they also separate the cells each other. We must have cover there, then we can separate the cells. If without cover, everything mixed together. So that's separate functions. And they also have superficials. That's more important part. Something will happen there. We say some chemical reactions will happen there. So this part, we're still talking about some detail later. And also regulating the passenger of material into and go out of the cells. Just like we say, if we in a home, we can allow some people coming in, we can kick out someone. So that's another important function. Then we can keep something inside the cells more balanced. We have something we need. We take out something we don't need. For example, oxygen. Certainly, each of the cells need oxygen. We need like oxygen go in. And the carbon dioxide coming from our cells metabolism. It's kind of waste. We need to relieve it. It must be through the cell's membranes. Without cell membranes, maybe oxygen couldn't go in and the carbon dioxide couldn't go out. So that's the basically functions of the cells.